Thank you so much, Oliver. It's a pleasure to be here in Seoul, Korea. Namaste from Nepal. This is again Vikas Gurung. I'm the president of Robotics Association of Nepal. And I will share how we are on a journey of creating robotics industry in Nepal and how definitely cross-border collaboration will support our journey. Okay. So if you see how robotics is growing in Nepal, we have to go through the economy. Nepal's economy is currently projected to decline at 4.1% and then again grow at 4.9%. So if you see that we are currently on a recession. And the good news is government has allocated 1% of its whole GDP for science, technology, and innovation. Though we are on a recession, government has actually allocated 1%, which is a good news for science, technology, and innovation. Similarly, World Bank in Nepal has also mentioned about that Nepal is currently going through a massive restructuring. We used to have a different government structure. Now we have a federal structure and secular republic, which means that we are going through decentralization. So this decentralization has actually helped Nepal to grow all over the country. Otherwise, Nepal's market was totally focused on capital city, Kathmandu, if you know about Kathmandu. So if you go to Nepal, the first place you will land is Kathmandu. What I mean to say is, right now, our robotics market is $5 to $10 million, which is really less. But because of this government investment and the market size, which is growing because of the federal structure, is expected to grow by $100 million. And because of this federal structure, now robotics and AI lab are being built. And then service-based robots are also on rise. As you can see, the robots already used in restaurants. Similarly, as Alex also mentioned about how we can change the education system or the way we are learning, Nepal is also adapting to it. So robotics education is on the high priority. Nepal government has put a STEM policy into its education system, and where, when we talk about a STEM policy, robotics education is at the front, because robotics, it's so handy, experiential, you code, you learn, so you actually implement what you learn. And there are already more than 40 plus edutech company. Why I'm highlighting 40 plus? Because Nepal's robotics industry doesn't have a long history. So 40 plus education company in a short span of time, that's a good growth. And already 50,000 plus students learning robotics on a daily basis because of these 40 plus companies. Even we being Robotics Association of Nepal, we have been delivering robotics education in good schools and also the government schools. You can see an example, United Academy pioneers robotics and AI education with innovative event. So which means like even big schools or schools over there are adapting all the robotics and AI based education. Few photos, how students are trying to learn robotics, batteries with the circuits, and then the event at the background. Currently, if you see the number of people who are engaged on robotics is like 3,000 plus. That's why we say like 3,000 plus robotics community. They are pursuing their career on robotics through electronics and communication engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical and computer engineering. In Nepal, we don't have a specific robotics engineering. So all they come from different engineering, they work together. So it's a collaborative education and collaborative work we do in Nepal. Because of this, we are incubating lots of robotics businesses in Nepal. And this is an example of we organized Drone as a Service business incubation program. This actually helped us start 4 different drone-based companies. Policy status, if you see in Nepal, there is a Digital Nepal Framework 2019. So it's just 4 years that Nepal adopted this Digital Nepal Framework. We are on a digitization process. And one of the key pillars is robotics and AI in this Digital Nepal Framework. and also Science, Technology and Innovation Policy 2019. So Science, Technology and Innovation Policy has added robotics and AI as an emerging technology. Nepal is just adapting to it. It's not like Korea. So we are just growing, you know. And then we now are having STI Act, Science, Technology and Innovation Act. The first, in my first presentation, I mentioned about 1% investment. So this act actually is helping on that because we need a regulation framework. Now, Ministry of Commerce is also adopting Industrial 4.0 roadmap. So we are already talking about, world is already talking about Industrial 4.0. Nepal is just adopting and creating an Industrial 4.0 roadmap. Nepal is also working on National Innovation Index and then National R&D Innovation Framework. During COVID pandemic, there was so much of work on the robotics. So there was a quote like Nepal will grow more on robotics and automation during the pandemic, and that's how whole Nepal see itself in its growth. And we are on a mission of creating robotics industry in Nepal by 2030, and we adopted that during Yantra 7.0, which is one of our milestone work. I will share more details on that. Major activities that happens in Nepal is national and international robotics competition. I mentioned about robotics education. Now, industry are also adopting robotics in their lab. So robotics lab in cement production and robotics and automation in agriculture. Definitely healthcare, I am mentioning robots for recovery during COVID-19. It helped us a lot. So I will go back to the history. In 2003, Nepal actually started working on robotics. There was a simple club, we talk about the circuit launch like space where we could work on robotics. And then different robotics clubs started in private colleges, engineering colleges. Then they started competing in different robotics competitions like AVU Robocon. And then the basic development of robotics started happening. Now there is a private club. We thought of, okay, we need an association. And we started working on workshops, school level competitions, engineering level competitions, and we created ourselves as a knowledge hub. We started transferring technology knowledge. And we acted as a common platform. Part of the work was Yantra Science Tech and Entrepreneurship Festival, MISTEC. MISTEC is a special initiative to have more women in robotics. Ujjwal Robotics Education. So, I mentioned about robotics education. So we started giving educations for school level, engineering, and then the undergrad level. So we started doing lots of partnerships. I will mention about them in my later slide. And then R&D and innovation. We being an association, we had a different model. We needed to also work on R&D innovation. So we started working on a lot of R&D. Definitely events, a few examples already there, and a lot of training and workshops. So for the trainings, for the trainings and workshops, we started also working on club activation. So there were lots of engineering colleges, but we needed to go to more. We needed to decentralize. So we needed to go different part of the country. So lots of clubs were formed, and then the members as well. And then the robotics startups started coming, from the clubs. Now they have the skill sets. They now started thinking, okay, we can build the product by ourselves. We can build the solutions by ourselves. I will give more details. And then Robotics Association of Nepal, introduced lots of new technologies back in time. So Arduino, that was a fascinating technology back in time. AVR, most of you, if you know the technical background, like AVR used to be the main coding platform. Now Arduino was introduced, it simplified everything because we could build prototype and then build solutions for the problems that we had. And then also the 3D printing, then drones, Raspberry Pi. So it all helped in developing local solutions. And you can see we started giving lots of trainings. One of our milestone work, the project Digital C, that was basically focused for females. And then we started working on robotics competitions and collaborations. So robotics competition, as I mentioned, in our first year we started national robotics competition, then that converted into international robotics competitions. You can see Bangladesh flag. There was also India in one of our international robotics competitions. And we partnered with Nepal Army. Why I mentioned Nepal Army? Because that was a stepping stone for us. We organized military science and technology competition. In that competition, there are more than 300 plus participation, 300 plus teams. These 300 plus teams actually converted into startups. So from these 300 plus teams, I can remember more than 50 startups who are there in Nepal are from these competitions. Then a lot of programs started happening because this robotics was so fascinating. So Kathmandu Mini Maker Fair. So Maker Fair is widely popular all over the world. We started Kathmandu Mini Maker Fair. Then I mentioned about drone as a service business incubation program. We partnered with AIBotics. And then, the 4 startups were funded $30,000. In Nepal, like $30,000 is a big money. That helped start 4 different drone-based startups. Smart Urban Technology Challenge. Now government adapted to the work we did. Kathmandu Metropolitan City, that's a Kathmandu-based government. They started this Smart Urban Technology Challenge, just like military science and technology competition. Now it also had a 300 plus participant. So these are milestones which added to lots of robotics startups. And robotics started going everywhere. So Hall Prize, Startup Fairs and Hackathons, Provincial Innovation Exhibitions, KINTEX, robotics education definitely, as I mentioned. So even CNOIF, one of a big confederation in Nepal, they had a robotics competition during their Startup Fest. So for all these works, now robotics education has been the foundation. I will also highlight about robotics education. We have lots of companies in Nepal now. Karkhana, Ujjwal Education, that work we do, GBS team, 3DI, Robotics Academy, Pi Innovations, all are working on robotics education and helping in robotics innovations. Robotic innovations like bomb disposal robots, that was a product of military science and technology competition. And then Pari 1.0 and 2.0, this was introduced in SBI Bank. Bank actually, used the Pari robots. Pari is a Nepali angel in English. Ginger robots, that's for restaurant-based robots. Sister robots for hospitals. Seed bombing drones for the high hilly side where we cannot go. We can fly the drones and seed bomb in the landslide area. Medical drones, Krisakopter, pesticide spraying drones, Yantrika, robots that can give you sanitizers. And then long-range UAV, rock check, automated irrigation system, lots of robotics innovations started happening. Now we have a really good robotics ecosystem, 80 plus companies and organizations. That's not huge as compared to Korea and other part of the world, but for Nepal it's really good because 80 plus companies has actually helped Nepal become more robust. 100 plus events, all engineering colleges, all schools, even governments are having events, and there is always the robotics. So that's how Robotics Association of Nepal, is creating the wave. And 200 plus events, so that's converted to 200 plus. Now there are 400 plus engineering college and 200 plus schools also having robotics program in their education system. As I mentioned that we are on a mission of creating robotics industry in Nepal. Our target is to create $100 million industry. I said like just $10 million industry right now. So by 7 years, we are targeting $100 million industry because there is already a promise from the government. Our mission is to create 500 plus startups and 10,000 plus jobs. So 3,000 people are already there, so 7,000 plus, that's our mission. Definitely, that's where we are going. Local problem, local solution, and the global impact, that's what we want. For that, we are working with Ministry of Education, Science and Technology for robotics and AI policy because we know robotics will come into the life of the people and we want to make startup-friendly robotics and AI policy. We want to have more investment. I was discussing with Dr. Philip that lots of investors are there who has lots of money. They are ready to invest in robotics. So we are working on the investment opportunities as well. Resources availability, we don't have much resources. Definitely this kinds of program will help. Conferences like World Robot Conference would help as well. Integration of AI into robotics. For now, like our robots doesn't have AI. So we are trying to integrate. Nepal is learning AI now. And infrastructures development, robotics and AI education, definitely robotics and AI hubs, exchange programs, we are focusing on that. And then the projects, that's all under the robotics and AI policy. We want to get it into the government's work. So all these works I showed was what RAN did. But what we are doing in terms of policy, we are working with Nepal government, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Ministry of Communication, Information and Technology, Ministry of Health and Population, Ministry of Commerce, NAST. NAST is the apex body of Science and Technology, Nepal Health Research Council, so health as well. And then FNCCI, the apex body for private organizations, CNI, Confederation for also the private organization, parallel body to FNCCI. Computer Association of Nepal, UNDP Nepal, ICIMOD. ICIMOD, if you have heard of it, is based on the regional work on mountainous areas. And then definitely we are member of Global Robotics Cluster. Definitely that will help for our policy work. We have partnership with Chinese Institute of Electronics just 1 month back. First Global, I was in Singapore just 1 day back. Good City Foundation. We are working on conceptualization of SARAT, South Asian Alliance for Robotics, AI and Automation Development. So that's something we are also working on. So let's talk about the cross-border collaboration, how we can work. Definitely my last visit to China has definitely opened way for cross-border collaboration. This is also one way for the cross-border collaboration. And we want to work together to create robotics business in Nepal and also the South Asia, because we are positioned so beautifully that we can help other Europe, US, definitely Southeast Asia to connect with the South Asia. And I would like to share a few details. Robotics in Bangladesh, agriculture, healthcare, education. These are the main area where we can work on the cross-border collaboration. In Bhutan, they are working on the education. The king has prioritized robotics in his also plan. Then in India, you know, 5th largest economy, fastest growing on robotics, 15% share. Growing at the 12% rate. Prime Minister Modi mentioned that they want to be the first human resource developing country in robotics. Pakistan is also working on urban development and smart cities. So, you know, robotics implementation is their plan. Waiter robots are already there. In Sri Lanka, they are also going through bad phase, but definitely their prime minister also thinks automation and robotics can help their face aging population. So if you see the summary, the area where there is opportunity to work together in South Asia and especially in Nepal is agriculture and food, because South Asian countries are actually fulfilling their basic needs. So that's where the opportunity is, basic needs. Agriculture and food, education, as I mentioned about the education, and the healthcare. The market is good because agriculture, we have the whole South Asian market is $938.7 billion. So there can be a good percentage for robotics and AI. Education, definitely, in total it's like $20 billion in South Asia, and then the healthcare, $180 billion. So that's a really huge market. The solution is collaboration, definitely knowledge transfer. All the exhibits that I see, you know, these are only based here. They need to come to South Asia and Nepal. And then human resource development. Developed countries has to help South Asian countries, especially Nepal, for the human resource development, talent development. That's how the business grow. When we started working on education, knowledge transfer, then a startup came, then the market was created. That's how, you know, all this collaboration would happen. Definitely university college partnerships. Cross-border, definitely cross-border, promotion of robotics and automation technology in agriculture and healthcare to South Asia and Nepal. Robotics and AI product trading. Trading is the main important thing. We need to trade. These products that are building here, they need to come to our countries. Definitely, and then we need to work on customized needs of South Asia and work on research and development together because we have our own needs. And if you see South Asia, we are more of a mountainous area. We have our own requirements, uniqueness. In South Asia, you can fulfill lots of things. In Nepal, it has a highest mountains, so you can test your robots. Leveraging robotics and AI to augment our capacity. So how do we do? Our government, all other government, we need to invest more on cross-border robotics and AI-based program, cross-border diplomacy, collaborative policy. Private sector, even here, the private sector has to co-invest. They need to co-invest. And then the recruitment and skilling, that's really important. Product trading, as I mentioned already, academic institute, they need to have more academic partnerships. That's how we will be able to create a good ecosystem for cross-border collaboration. And the research and development, customized research and development, cross-border incubation is also really important. International organizations like APARA, Global Robotics Clusters, cross-border conference, grants programs, South Asia-based robotics innovations, that has to be focused. That's how progressive robotics South Asia ecosystem with time for maturity will grow. Thank you. I wanted to highlight the presence of Sophia, and one of our presenters mentioned about the hands-on robotics. When Sophia came into Nepal, there was so much of good vibes. Everybody thought, okay, Nepal's robotics scene is going to change. I think that's how, more work, more partnerships will change the Nepal's and South Asia robotics scene and cross-border